Greetings everyone, we're the group 2 and we will be discussing all about the sexual self. But before we begin the discussion, I would like to mention that this is for educational use only. Me and my group allowed our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardines, to use this as an educational material. With that being said, let's begin with the first topic.
Development of secondary sex characteristics and human system. The pubertal changes in secondary sex characteristics, such as breast development, fat deposition, development of the genitalia, changes in the larynx, and body hair growth, result from increasing levels of gonadal estrogens. Sex steroid levels, in turn, are influenced by rising gonadotropins. Secondary sexual characteristics are those that emerge during the prepubescent through pubescent phases. Breasts in females and pigmented facial hair in males. Any of the physical characteristics that differentiate male and female individuals as distribution of hair or fat on the body, breasts and muscles development, deepening of the voice, or etc. that are not directly related to reproduction and usually appear at puberty. In both sexes, this stage reflects the progressive modifications of the external genitalia and of sexual hair. Secondary sex characteristics appear at a mean age of 10.5 years in girls and 11.5 to 12 years in boys. Non-medicine or medical, any of number of manifestations as development of breast or beard, muscularity, distribution of fat tissues, and change of pitch in voice, specific to each sex and excipient at puberty but not essential to reproduction. Secondary sexual characteristics are those characters that are governed by the hormones released at the time of puberty and sexual or around 2 years earlier in females than in men. The secondary sexual characteristics in males are hair growth on the face in the form of a beard and mustache, the growth of his testicles, heavier musculate, Adam's apple development, the larynx become larger, resulting in a deeper voice. The secondary sexual characteristics in female are development of breast, lighter musculature, shrill and higher pitch voice, broadening of hips due to fat deposition.
Discussing the erogenous zone. Any part of the body can be erogenous zone. The word erogenous comes from the Greek word eros, love, and genius means producing. An erogenous zone is any area that can produce sexual arousal when stimulated. One theory behind these sensitive areas is that they have nerve endings and receptors that are more attuned to light touch and gentle tickling. And also there is a theory of shifting erogenous zone was originally intended to provide a rationale for fashion changes by suggesting that men were attracted to women based on eroticized body parts. Given the complexity of sex, you might not be surprised that to learn that you can like viewing or touching your partner's erogenous regions just as much as they could love your touching them. Also, because everyone is unique, some people could discover that a tickle or light touch makes them feel better, but others may find that pressure or vibration makes them feel better. And this part differ from person to person. What may feel wonderful for one person may be uncomfortable for another. Thus, communication is essential while you're in the midst of it. Talk to your spouse or partners about the things you both enjoy doing and create room for sharing. You might learn something new about both of you in the process. For the female erogenous zone, the main genital erogenous zone for women are the G-spot and the vulva, which includes the clitoris, vaginal opening, and outer and inner vaginal lips or labia. Stimulation of these areas through self-touch, such as masturbations, a partner's touch, a sex toy, or other means often leads to sexual arousal, which involves increased blood flow and nerve sensitivity. And and for the male erogenous zone, they have erogenous zones too. Yet orgasm may be seen as simpler in men. The penis, particularly the glands, especially the head of the penis, and frenulum are among men's primary genital erogenous zone. Band of skin that runs from the bottom of the head of the penis or the foreskin to the shaft of the penis. The skin around the testicles or the scrotum is also extremely delicate. Orgasm frequently result for stimulation of this region, especially the head of the penis. Men and women share many of the same erogenous zone outside of genital erogenous zones.
Hi everyone, I'm Cadet Fernandez Paul. I'm gonna report understanding of human sexual response. Sexual response cycle. The sexual response cycle is one model or physical and emotional changes that happens when you are participating in sexual activity. There are 4 phases in this cycle. Organism is the shortest phase. What are the phases of the sexual response cycle? The desire or libido, and the second are usual or excitement, orgasm, or resolution. What is the sexual response cycle? The sexual response cycle refers to the sequence of physical and emotional changes that occurs as a person becomes usual, are used and participates in sexually stimulating activities, including intercourse and masturbation. Knowing how your body responds during each phase of the cycle can enhance your relationship and help you pinpoint the cause of sexual dysfunction. There are several different proposed models of a sexual response cycle. The one that is reviewed here is one of the more commonly quoted. Both men and women can experience these phases, although the timing may be different. For example, it's highly unlikely that both partners will reach orgasm at the same time. In addition, an intensity of the response and the time spent in each phase varies from person to person. Many women won't go through the sexual phases in this order. Some of these stages may be absent during some sexual encounter or out of sequence in orders. A desire or intimacy may be motivation for sexual activity. In some individuals, understanding these differences may help partners better understand one another's body and responses and enhance the sexual experience. Heart rate quickens and breathing gets faster. Breathing, heart rate, and blood pressure continue to increase, or a rash or sex flush may appear over the entire body. That's all. Thank you.
What is the basic biology of sexual behavior? I'm Cadet Canonigo. Human sexual behavior is complex and complicated, thus it is not at all different from other species. Feldman, 2010. To illustrate, men's sexual behavior can occur at any time by being aroused to certain stimuli. At puberty, the testes begin to secrete androgens, male sex hormones, which produce secondary sex characteristics like growth of bodily hair and changes in tone of voice like mine, and also female sexual behavior start at puberty where the two ovaries begin to produce estrogen and progesterone, female sex hormones. This stage of puberty for female occurs in cyclical manner where also brought changes, while for non-human, period of ovulation is only when the ovulation occurs to the female species is receptive to sex, and secretion of both male and female sex hormones during puberty, human reproductive organs mature. And human reproductive system by which reproduce and bear lives of spring, it requires the union between the male and female reproductive system to which carries out to produce another life form or baby, provided that all organs are present. Human reproductive system works from the release of egg cell from the reproductive organ of female to the fertilization of sperm cell to the conception up to the giving birth of the baby, and eventually to the return of the female physical body to the original state. And next, let's talk about the reproductive system, both male and female. Let's go first at male. Testes. Testis is the most important part of the male reproductive organ. It is the source of spermatozoa or a male germ cell or a sperm. And the second is scrotum. It is a sac of skin where the two testes are enveloped directly below and outside of the abdomen. Prostate glands. It is a gland that carries out both urine and seminal fluid. It is connected by sperm ducts from sperm ducts joining into a single tube called urethra. Urethra then leads to the outside of the body through penis. And next, penis. It is where the ejaculation occurs by sending sperm cell from testes and secrete out or to the part of a female. And sperm is a male gamete, one that is necessary for the egg to develop and become a baby or to produce life. And for female reproductive system, ovary. It is a pair of small oval organ which produce oval or ovum female germ cell. Thousands of ova will mature and will be taken up to the fallopian tube through the uterus by the time of puberty. Fallopian tube are pair or ova thin tubes that leads from ovaries to the uterus. And uterus, it is a hollow pear-shaped elastic muscular structure where fertilized ovum develops into become a baby. And vagina, it is a tube leading to outside of the body through the opening called the vulva.
The next topic we're going to be talking about is about understanding the chemistry of lust, love, and attachment. Let's know them one by one. First, we have lust. Lust is a strong, intense desire for something or of something. It can take any form, such as lust for sexuality, lust for money, or even lust for power. But for the sake of our topic, the sexual self, let's focus more on this lust for sexuality. So, lust is this intense urge sexually towards someone with without any other feelings involved. Next is love. Now, love can be a feeling of deep, warm affection for someone as for a child, a parent, or a friend. Or it can be feeling of passion or sexual desire. Now, one word that I would like to bring up is the word crystallization, or the tendency to focus on one's positive traits and neglect some of the negative traits. If you know someone, or if you, in focusing on one's positive traits and neglect some negative ones, then that is crystallization. The next is attachment. Now, the definition of attachment includes recognizing the specific people whom one is attached, preferring the company of those specific people, displaying separation anxiety when apart, and as much as possible, attempting to restore close contact after separation. Psychologists describe human attachment as the affection we feel for those with whom our lives are deeply entwined. The next topic will be the diversity of sexual behavior. We have sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression. Sexual orientation defines who we want romantically, physically, or sexually. There are several types of sexual orientation, such as heterosexual, homosexual, asexual, and bisexual. Heterosexual are the people who are romantically and physically attracted to the opposite sex, which means males are attracted to females and females are attracted to males. These people are also known as straight people. Next is homosexual, which are the people who are romantically and physically attracted to people of the same sex. Females who are attracted to other females are called lesbians, while males who are attracted to other males are called gay. And of course, we have bisexual, which are the people who are romantically and sexually attracted to either of the sexes. So if a person likes both males and females, then that person is a bisexual. Next, we have asexual, which are the people who may not be interested in sex but still feel emotionally close to other people. Now let's move on to gender identity. Gender identity is defined as a personal conception of oneself as male, female, both, or neither. We have four major types of genders, including living and non-living things. We have masculine, we have feminine, we have neuter, which are lifeless objects like tables and chairs, and we have common gender, which denotes either male or female. Examples are teachers, doctors, etc. And we have expression. Expression is defined as how a person publicly expresses their gender. This can include behavior and appearance, such as dresses, hair, makeup, body language, or voice. A person's chosen name and pronouns are also common ways of expressing their gender.
I am Cadet Baku. So this time I'm gonna tackle about STD. So what does STD means? STD or sexually transmitted disease is generally acquired by sexually contact. The bacteria, viruses, or parasites that cause sexually transmitted disease may pass from person to person in blood, semen, or vaginal and other bodily fluids. So how do people get STD? So people can get it by having vaginal, anal, or oral sex with someone who has STD. Anyone who is sexually active can get an STD. You don't have to go all the way like have anal or vaginal sex to get an STD. This is because some STD like herpes, HPV are spread by skin to skin contact. Also, people who have sex without using condoms are high at risk of getting STD. It doesn't matter how many people the person has had sex with. Even if someone has only had one sexual partner, that partner could have a disease. Of course, the chances of getting STD or sexually transmitted disease are even higher if a person has unprotected sex with lots of different partners. And many people who have STD do not have obvious signs or symptoms. So, because of this, they may have believed that they're clean and there's no need to use condom. For example, about 6 out of 10 people with STD don't know they are infected, so they risk passing the viruses on the others.
Hello everyone, I am Daniel Paul C. Rosales and I'm going to tackle about my assigned topic, which is the methods of contraception. So firstly, what is contraception? Contraception is also known as family planning or birth control. It is any method, medicine, or device used to prevent pregnancy. Contraception works so that an egg can be fertilized by sperm to conceive a baby. So, what are the types of contraceptive options? There are both types. They are the natural methods and the artificial methods. Their level of effectiveness and the way they work varies. Barrier methods of contraception, such as condoms, are highly effective to protect you and your sexual partners from sexually transmissible infection or STIs. So it is important to remember that no method of contraception is 100% effective against pregnancy. So how does birth control work? So female or male sterilization surgery prevents the sperm from reaching the egg by cutting or damaging the tubes that carry sperm in men or eggs in women. Long-acting reversible contraceptives of LARC methods or intrauterine devices, hormonal implants. They prevent your ovaries from releasing eggs, prevent sperms from getting to the egg, or make implantation of the egg in the uterus. So, short acting hormonal methods, such as the pill, mini pill, patch, shot, and vaginal ring. These prevent your ovaries from releasing eggs or prevent sperm from getting to the egg. Barrier methods such as condoms, diaphragms, sponge, cervical cup prevent sperm from getting to the egg. And lastly, natural rhythm methods. This involves avoiding sex or using other forms of birth control on the days when you are most fertile or most likely to get pregnant. So, what is the artificial methods? So they are the female and male sterilization or female tubal ligation or occlusion male vasectomy, long-acting reversible contraceptives or LARC methods, which are the intrauterine device hormonal implants, short-acting hormonal methods, pill, mini pills, patch, shot, vaginal ring. And for the last one, it is called the barrier methods. So what are the natural methods? So they are the rhythms, which are the person that is ovulating and done by tracking a person's menstrual cycle on a calendar to either avoid or engage in sexual intercourse. Cervical mucus. This relies on tracking the changes in a woman's cervical mucus to plan the best days to have avoid sexual intercourse. Basal body temperature method, and this is used as a way to predict fertility as a part of a method of contraception. Lactation amenorrhea method. A woman relies on exclusive breastfeeding after birth to prevent pregnancy. And lastly, coitus interruptus or withdrawal, where the penis is withdrawn from the vagina before ejaculation. So, why should we know this? This is the ability to practice the contraception, which is essential to protecting Filipino women's health and rights. Yet low levels of use have led to high levels of unattended pregnancy in the Philippines, for which women and society pay dearly in their lives. Family well-being and public funds, contraceptive information and services are fundamental to the health and human rights of all individuals. The prevention of unattended pregnancies help to lower maternal ill health and the number of pregnancy-related deaths. So I think that's all. Thank you.